So welcome to my little patch. This is where I run the Toronto Trail Cam project out of. So I'm going to show you just a little bit behind the scenes, how I set things up. It's just like a little copse next to the Don Valley Parkway. I'm not showing you deliberately the opposite direction because it will allow people to triangulate exactly where I am. So anyway, it's easy to access if you know where it is, but yeah, there's a lot of animals coming through here and it changes extremely fast. Like how this was a couple of weeks ago and how it is now are two totally different areas. It's amazing when you actually pay attention to a tiny little piece of land that's probably about 300 square meters, exactly how much change happens in that little area. So this morning we had a lot of deer come through here. Those deer that show up in the videos, they're actually a lot taller than you'd expect. I'm almost 6 foot tall, and those deers, they are substantially taller than me. And they actually thunder. When you surprise them, their hooves actually thunder on the ground. It's pretty impressive actually. So this here, this is the puddle. This is where the raccoons come. And so this is the tree that I actually tie things to. So I'm going to set this up right now. So as you can see, what I've done is I've basically put it up high enough that it's out of the way of the plants now, but it's still pointing in the same direction that camera one always points in. It's the same puddle, that one never changes. So now we're going to go do number 2. Okay, coming through. I always like to make a bit of noise because the animals sometimes don't know that you're coming. Now here's a perfect example. Do you see that? That is a hoof print, so it tells me that the deer are coming through here. This is where those people made that shelter last week. Oh crap. These plants are just growing like weeds. 3 weeks ago, you could actually see over here where the beavers were cutting down the trees, and now you can't even see the tree stumps that they created. Obviously here, we can see this is a fresh one. This one came down in about the past 10 days. But yeah, the rain's really coming down now. Okay, so I now have to find where those beavers are coming up and down, and given last week's footage, I now have a bit of an idea that they're coming up and down around here. So I can tell that this is probably where they're coming up and down. I know this from last week's footage because I had the camera over on this tree over here, and we were seeing them come in sort of this direction going down here. Trying to find the tree again here. I'm going to put the camera down here and hopefully we should get beavers coming up and down the hill. That's the plan at least. Now this is where I've got to try and make sure A, I don't damage things too much, and B, I don't fall over and end up breaking my neck. Okay. Oh, what do we have here? Somebody lives down there. Oops. Now I've got... Really? Is that... There's an old wire fence here. That's crazy. So there's an old wire fence. Something has been eating snails here. And somebody's dropped a bottle. I have to pick that up in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to put it on this tree. Oh, actually, no, hang on, there's another path here. Yeah, I'm going to put it down here, I think. I bet you the beavers come up here. Not that I can see any trails, but I bet something comes along here. Let's see what we can see. This actually looks really promising. Actually, let's go down to the river for a second. So right now I'm down by the river. As you can see, there's no immediate sign of beavers, but the water is flowing pretty fast here. I wonder if we're actually going to find anything down here. Getting down these rocks is incredibly slippery, especially in these boots. So one of the big challenges here is I can't put the camera down where I'm standing right now, because if we get a large water flow come through, let's say it rains heavily for several days this week, this river is going to come up quite considerably. So what I don't want to be is that close to the water that the cameras end up getting submerged. So I'm going to come up, I think, back to that trail where I was and put them along there. Okay, so I feel like this may be good. We've got the camera basically looking at the hill where I believe the beavers are coming up and down here. So let me show you from the other side. So here we are on the other side. Here's the camera, it's on, and it's basically looking at this. So as you can see, we've got one trail going this way and we've got one trail coming across. So again, just a little further up, here's the trail that runs along the bank, and if we look down here, you can just see the camera on the tree there looking back at me. Yeah, this is not the easiest place to get out of. Covered in spiders' webs. Alright, so I'm back up again. Let me take you to where the beavers were chopping down those other trees. So, as you can see here, 4 trees that they took out, and then there's more behind. And these plants, no joke, they are about 18 inches higher this week than they were last week. So now I'm just going to walk back along the deer, raccoon and coyote trail, obviously making sure I make some noise as I go along so that animals are aware that I'm here and they don't scare anything. Last thing I need is a scared doe or coyote or something not knowing what to do because they didn't hear me. So this is where I have put the camera in previous weeks, on this tree here. Well, camera 2 at least. Oh, now there's the footprint. I'll just come back. Oh, I just stood on it. Okay, alright, don't worry. Alright, so we're now getting back towards where camera 1 is. Almost there. Right, we're turning at this one and duck. Oh, these bushes are wet. And there's camera 1. Alright, so there you go, a little bit of behind the scenes. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you're wondering what the cameras are, they're Vupeak TC15s, and I put rechargeable batteries in there each week. So yeah, what they can't get from the sun, the backup batteries will take over for the day or two that there's no sun. Anyway, speak to you soon.